Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at your forecast for June 2021. So what I'm going to do is, first and foremost, I'm going to break down the energies and the numerology for the collective that could come up and surface in June. And then I'm going to dive deeper into your personal life path number. So before we get started, I just want to mention that this is, of course, a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the month of June collectively is a universal 11-2 energy. So this is going to be a time for pronounced intuitive insights and strengthening of intuitive and psychic abilities. So you may feel the pull this month to really tune into your own inner compass for guidance. Dreams can be especially vivid and intense during this cycle, so pay close attention to what comes up for you in your dreamscapes. And that can also be in daydreams. So they may hold valuable messages for you. And so it's very beneficial for you to spend some time with those dreams. And again, even your daydreams, if you journal about them, kind of feel into them and see what messages they may hold for you. If you are struggling with deciphering that message and you'd like some assistance, I do offer dream interpretation. So just book some time with me and let's explore further. So this month we may find collectively that our emotions are particularly heightened during this cycle. So this isn't necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just simply is a reminder that we are emotional beings. And if something's coming in strongly for us this month, happy or sad, what we feel may be good or bad emotionally, then it's because it's asking to be truly felt and experienced. So avoidance will not work here, and this will give you an opportunity to remember that through the emotions that are meant to be felt, that whole range of emotions, they are not meant to control us or completely derail us, but they are meant to be felt and worked through and wisdom pulled from them, right? From that experience. So if you feel hyper emotional this month, work on ways to feel the emotion without losing yourself within it or without staying sort of trapped within it, if that makes sense. Give yourself the time and the space and the grace to be able to feel what comes up for you, but don't get trapped there. Find your center and then continue to find your way back to it when things begin to feel a little too intense, okay? Not saying that if things get intense, you should fall into avoidance mode, because sometimes it's going to feel intense. But if you feel like you start to get trapped within your emotions or your emotions become more in control of the situation, then that's a time that's your indicator to come back to your center, to find your balance. So you may feel a tremendous amount of joy and happiness this month. And if so, fully immerse yourself within that rather than sort of shaming yourself for feeling so good. Sometimes we have a tendency to do that. You do deserve to experience the joys in life. It doesn't always need to be about lessons, soul growth, and work. So there's plenty of beautiful soul growth to be had through enjoyment and bliss. This month, if an emotion surfaces for you, allow yourself the space, the time to feel through it without shame or judgment. Too often, we and society tend to shame those who give themselves the opportunity to feel an emotion or express an emotion. So I think this month it's going to come in pretty strongly. Those emotions that need to be felt and dealt with. And even those emotions that we don't allow ourselves to feel when it comes to happiness, joy, celebration, gratitude, whatever the case may be. So if there's an emotion that you have been tucking under the rug or not allowing yourself to fully experience, whether it's good or bad. Not that there are necessarily bad emotions, but you know what I'm saying. This is going to be a month where I think we're going to have an opportunity to really feel into them and, again, move through them in a way where we're not in avoidance. This is also going to be a month for decisive action. So this can feel a little bit uncomfortable if you're someone who is often indecisive. So sudden events may require very distinctive, decisive action on your part. So this is going to be a time to trust yourself and trust your inner guidance. Pay attention to your mindset and the attitudes around circumstances that surface for you, and try to determine how a shift within those perspectives could produce for you a more desirable result in the future with those decisions that you make today. So if you're capable of channeling those energies into something more positive and worthwhile, then you can really accomplish more now in this 11-2 cycle than in any other cycle that we experience. Master energy, which 11-2 is master level energy, equals master accomplishments if we work with the energy. So this month, when things come up for you, the thing to remember is, am I avoiding this for some reason? And if I am, why am I avoiding it? And that can, again, be about emotions, difficult conversations, decisions that need to be made, whatever comes up for you. If you find yourself in avoidance mode, then that is a big indicator for you that you need to pause and find ways to face it head on, deal with it, and make those important decisions, those elevated decisions that are going to help promote something much more beneficial for you in the future and in the days to come, in the days, the months, the weeks, and years to come. So this is a big month. This is a big energy. And so again, it's always what we choose to do with it, but I anticipate that we'll be feeling some master level energy surface this month, and we'll have some opportunities to really master those energies in the way that we are capable of doing so in this time, at this time. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get into your particular life path number. Okay, life path number 2. So this is ultimately, June is ultimately sort of your energy, because even an 11 energy, even though it's an extension of the 2 energy, that life path energy is a 2, if that makes sense. So you will be feeling potentially the energies this month rather strongly. So just kind of keep that in mind if things feel sort of heightened for you around emotions or big decisions or dreams or intuitiveness or whatever comes up for you. But I anticipate that 2s will feel this energy a little bit more strongly than the rest of the collective. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get into your reading for the month. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all. And this is interesting because I can see this in the overall energy for the month for you all. But you got groundhog spirit. And groundhog's message is time to let go. And so I feel like this is going to be something around matters of the heart. So relationships, something that you feel emotionally invested in, something where it's like maybe you have been wanting something different, but haven't had maybe the courage to release what needs to be released so that that can come in for you. So I just see this as an opportunity this month where it may be a little bit emotionally challenging, but whatever work you can do this month to not only, feel the emotions and work through them, but release what needs to be released. And that can be as simple as, or not as simple, but it can be as sort of baseline as working with the emotions and not avoiding them anymore and finding a way to transmute that energy through working with it. So yeah, Groundhog's message is time to let go. And I just feel like he's just here to remind you that it's okay. Like, life is about receiving and then releasing. And so it's kind of like that has to do with relationships, experiences, everything. Nothing is stationary in life. Like everything is sort of static, everything is fluid, everything is constantly moving because everything is energy. So it's like when we try to control the energy is when we become very, very uncomfortable and the information or the energy becomes sort of frenetic. So I feel like, and feels sort of out of control. So I feel like this is going to be a month for you all to really find a way to work with your emotions, because with twos, sort of the shadow side of twos is that moodiness or hypersensitivity and unable to work with your emotions. And so I feel like you're going to feel this month kind of strongly, but I feel like it's going to show you truly what needs to be released and how to do that. And so how to work with it and how to make those decisions, because also two energy can sometimes be very, very indecisive. So I feel like there's going to be some challenges this month with really kind of facing those energies of the 11-2 energy that's going to be coming up collectively, and really working with sort of your shadow sides of your two energy. So I broke the month down into 4 weeks, and first part of the month, I see I basically see an ending. But what that ending is allowing for is kind of what I touched on before, is it's allowing those wishes, those dreams to come in. The things that you've been like, dear universe, dear God, dear whoever, dear higher power, please send me X, Y, and Z. But you haven't cleared the space for that energy to come in. You've been holding on to something that is no longer serving you, something that's holding you back. And so I see with groundhog spirit coming in saying this is a time to let go. And then with seeing this energy of completion at the very beginning of the month, I feel like maybe around the eclipses at the end of May, or the first eclipse, I think it's a lunar eclipse, I feel like that's when you're really going to get a big indicator of what it is that needs to be released and sort of severed. And I see you taking the sort of the role in doing that. And it's like the universe is basically saying, as soon as you do that, you are opening up your plate wide open for the next a beautiful serving of what you've been asking for. So it's kind of like if you've been again, putting out your intentions, putting out your wishes to the universe, but you haven't really seen anything come to you. It could be because you're holding on to things that are creating clutter within your life and don't need to be there. And so I feel like you may have an opportunity to, 1, get a really clear indication of what that is, and 2, be able to finally find a way to, again, cut those ties and release whatever this is. And again, this can be, mindsets, belief systems, things that are holding you back, bad relationships or toxic relationships or just relationships that have served their purpose and aren't going anywhere, jobs, situations, whatever. So yeah, I just see if you can find a way to release whatever that is, then the good stuff can come in for you. But as long as you choose to continue to cling to the clutter, then you're not creating the space for those to level up and for those next sort of elevated, aligned energies to come in for you. Okay, so it's what you do with it, but yeah, definitely supported this month to release whatever that is. Second week, I see some really beautiful inspirations coming in for you all, and you're kind of looking to the future about how you can implement those inspirations. And that is very aligned with that 2 energy. I feel like it's kind of like when you can realize what it is that you need to step beyond or work through, then again, you clear the space and you clear your mind from that clutter, and the inspirations can come through. That creative life force can come through. That could be all of a sudden you realize you want to start a family, or you want to get married, or you want to start your own business, or change jobs, or end a relationship and be independent, or whatever the case may be. But I just see you taking you pulling the sword from the sheath and, standing in your power and being I'm doing this, whatever this is, and finding that courage to to stand behind your own truth of what it is that you want and what it is that you want to move towards. So I see you sort of stepping into that energy pretty strongly that second week, at least recognizing what it is that needs to be released so that you can start to create that new path or create that new space for that new energy to come in. So it could be a lot of contemplation coming in around the second week, but I also see you like not taking any bullshit, like you being like, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I feel like I came here for, and I'm going after it. You're either along for the ride or you're not, and kind of not, just kind of really standing in your truth. Then the third week, this is interesting. I see this as like a little bit of an emotionally challenging week. This does feel like, for some of you, this feels very specific. This could be a loss of some sort, somebody passing on, something like that. But remember, it's like, energy doesn't go away, it just changes form. So it's like if someone passes on, if you lose a relative, something like that, there's going to be, something that comes in to fill that space. I do see for some of you, if it is some kind of a loss, that there could be some kind of inheritance involved with that loss. And the key is or kind of the message is, yes, that would be emotionally challenging, of course, to lose somebody that you care about. Feel those emotions, go through whatever comes up for you, but also it's really important that you don't shame yourself for receiving the abundance that wants to come in through that loss, if that makes sense. So it's like if you inherit a large sum of money because of this loss, don't feel guilt or shame around that receiving that, because that person left that to you for a reason. And so be open to receiving with an open heart and, in gratitude for whatever it is, because it's meant to support you on your continued journey. For some of you, it could be that, it's interesting, I'm kind of seeing like there might be a big investment that is being lost at this time. So it's kind of like you had invested in something quite large and it sort of falls apart. And that can be a little emotionally challenging, of course. But the key is to remember that nothing is going to sort of leave your space, your energy field, if it's serving you, like if there's still something left to gain from it. So if something is released by you or the universe, it's for a reason. And it's so that the next thing can come in for you. And so, again, feel through the emotions that come up in whatever this is. But like I mentioned in the intro, don't let it fully derail you or fully entrap you, like where you're stuck there. Okay. Whatever comes up for you at this time, I do see it being emotionally heightened. Just feel through those emotions and work through whatever comes up for you. And just know that, there's some kind of preparation taking place through this loss. For others of you, it could be that, the opposite side of the spectrum where you just come into a large amount of money in some way that doesn't really have to do with loss, but brings you a tremendous amount of joy. And so, so again, it could, it being a general reading, it can come in a variety of ways, but I do see that for some of you where it's just like you maybe win the lottery or we're trying to sell a house or something like that, and it sells for way beyond asking price or whatever the case may be. And that just brings you a tremendous amount of joy. I do see it being around resources. So just keep that in mind, or money, that sort of thing. So then we move into the end of the month, the last week, and it's interesting because I'm seeing like this abrupt shift in the energy, like a big change, kind of like the universe being like, okay, we need to rush the timeline a little bit for you. Like maybe you've been stuck in an energy and the universe is helping you to move beyond that stagnation. But I'm also seeing like this like energy of patience coming in too. So it's like, it may be that there's like a shift in perception or a new idea comes in for you pretty abruptly and you want to take action on that. And really the message that I'm getting is move forward with whatever this is and say yes to it because it is supported. But understand that you have to have some level of patience as well, because you might not understand the full story just yet. So have patience as the story unfolds, okay? Like when there's uncertainty or lack of clarity, just understand that if you can't find the answers through searching, then you're being asked to surrender and trust the universe. And that can be really difficult, but we are not meant to know everything up front. And so again, even though it might feel like abrupt energy at first coming in, like you get this idea and you're like, I'm going to jump on this. This is great. That's great. If that is the decision you want to make, then do it. Because there's also that energy of being very decisive, but also have that level of patience as well, and understanding that there's a process involved in whatever this is. Okay. So yeah, interesting energies for you all for June. But I think that this is an opportunity for a lot of transformation for you all, and a lot of clearing of old stagnant clutter that just doesn't need to be there anymore. So I hope it's a beautiful month for you all. Thank you all for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye for now.